Hi, I'm Josanne Wright Callender, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck Picture Book and Educational Program. It's been one of those days. Well, I found out that mindfulness can be linked to self regulation. And this was really important to me as an educator because, well, we've been looking at ways to improve a child's self esteem. And that's part of what I've been focused on in my career and my practice, building self-esteem, building motivational techniques that I can use to motivate my students to try harder and to do their best. And I found that most of these, well, pretty much all of these link back to the interoceptive network. And as we've been exploring the insula, which is the part of the brain that integrates everything that we sense from the external stimuli and makes sense of them internally for our bodies. So it's like a subjective, we make sense of what we've experienced subjectively with our interoceptive sense. Well, I found out that the contemplative practices impact the insula, which is sort of like not only the integrator, but it's also like the switch that allows us to switch back and forth to each mode, which is our default network mode, um, the um, executive functioning mode, which is the cognitive mode, and also our salience network, which is the fight or flight part of the brain. So what I found, which was pretty startling to me, was these contemplative practices impact the insula and help to modulate it, which allows it to change, or it controls what happens to the insula. So the neuroplasticity of the brain is what happens and the growth aspect of the insula. So, as we practice these different contemplative activities, such as yoga, mindfulness, meditation, it's actually strengthening our abilities to make better choices. So, such as being self regulating. So, getting more into that, in the research that I've done, I found out that these activities have a controlling influence not only in the insula but also in the default network mode. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that to find out exactly how that is impacted. But what's super important to me is that because of the insula and its surrounding circuits are impacted, these same areas are seen to be responsible for attention and awareness. So, as we're cultivating these uh, contemplative practices, we're actually decentering, allowing the brain to decenter from things that might have been our focus to switch gears to another area that actually can help calm us down. So that's why said in the beginning, mindfulness can be linked to self-regulation. So now this was important also because my husband and I met a fellow the other day on the beach who was practicing something similar to Tai Chi. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was the type of practice that you could see that he was pretty much focused on the movements. And we have a friend who does actually practice Tai Chi, and both of them mentioned that it helps them to spin on what their mind is allowing their body remembering the next step of the movement. And so Tai Chi, yoga, mindfulness, and meditation are these types of body mind practices that we're going to take a look at in our future conversations and see how each one has an effect on the brain. So I hope that this has been helpful. I'm learning a lot through these talks and preparing for the talks because I would really love to find ways to improve how the children that I'm tutoring and impacting can be can find different ways of looking at their behavior, that it doesn't sometimes I've taught children who just felt that this is how I am. But as adults, we know that we can change behaviors and behaviors can change over time. And I've worked with a lot of behaviorists who had this as their practice. But my experience with the OTs that I've worked with, most of them felt that there is a mind body connection that could lead to self-regulation, and that's what I'm really, really excited about, that when a child can feel as though they're in control of their actions and their behaviors, that builds self-esteem, which is why I said that we're having these conversations. What can we do as adults, teachers, parents to improve a child's self-esteem? This seems to be a really good area to focus on. So in the future, we'll dive a little deeper, and I will see you next time. And remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for those of you who have, and I'll see you next time. Bye.